Quick album Q&A time. Hello, I'm heading back from Czech Republic. I am bored. Ask me album questions. I might answer, or I might not. I am fickle.
Are you guys really cutting Wasted Summer from the album? I'll cry if so.
You'll have to wait and see.
When creating a new album, do you ever get your own songs stuck in your head?
Yes, but only 'cause Joe seems to know exactly what sounds good to me all the time. Like some sort of clairvoyant freak.
I love that for you.
Thanks.
How difficult was it to come up with the album's title?
This was literally one of the biggest discussions amongst the band. Ha ha ha. We bounced back and forth between about 8 names for a year. We've decided now, though, and it all clicked rather suddenly for us. OST.
Ost is cheese in Swedish. Lovejoy, secretly mice, confirmed.
No. No, 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 fuck. No, please, please don't say that. No, 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 no. I am not. Don't make me mouse.
First off, I've been a fan for 4 years, and I am so happy I can get to ask this again. After seeing you live also in Warsaw and Gdynia, will there be a tour in honor of the album? If so, will there be a Europe leg along with the UK?
We will definitely be touring the album. Where we tour is based entirely on where the listeners are.
Hi, Wilbur! Longtime fan, all the way since Are You All Right? How is progress on the album? Would love if you could give us an update reminiscent of the ones you used to do on Twitter. Ha ha ha.
100% complete.
What gave you the ideas for the album covers? I really like the Wake Up and It's Over cover.
Wake Up and It's Over is specifically a train crashing off of a bridge near where I grew up. Me and my friends used to cycle there often, and many kids cooler than me would take fancy pictures in the pillars all the time. The canceled Perfume MV was filmed there partially as well. It's a very important place from my life. You also cross over it from Brighton to London. The models were Ash's idea, and I immediately dug them. Marina Totino did a stellar job, and it was a pleasure to meet her when I visited Canada for Osheaga in 2023.
Any hints of what the album cover will look like? Do you have a favorite track on the album?
Big Scream.
What did Rob witness?
Untold Horrors. The Plight of Man.
Will it be cool as balls?
God, I hope.
Hey, Will, was just wondering how long you guys have been working in the album? And if there's anything people probably won't ask that you want to share? Thanks. Theo.
Properly since last April. In actuality, some of the ideas go all the way back to Pebble Brain's writing process.
Do you have an estimated time that the album will come out, like a month or something?
It will be longer than a month, but sooner than 6. You will receive song snacks along the journey.
Oh, he'll ask just like this. Do you feel like you found your place with this sound? No more AM, no more LC, just Lovejoy?
Yes. In fact, it has tired me a little hearing people compare us continuously to those two bands when our collective music taste is so much broader. We all listen and are inspired by so many great artists. As much as love and respect the Arctic Monkeys, I haven't listened to them in a hot minute now and would struggle to point to any song that was directly inspired by them. Personally, for me, if I could say I was inspired by anyone the most for this record, it is Brandon Flowers and The Killers.
Joe now began to sing more in songs, having his own small part in Foxhole's amazing BTW. Will there be any more songs where he will join you in vocal part?
Joe is a very prolific guy in this record. He does so much BGV and has a few really sick solo vocal moments. Honestly, performing the ending of Warsaw live so often really reminded us how much we enjoy his vocal style, even if he's shy. And we have basically encouraged him to belt it whenever the occasion arises.
If I may ask, What influenced y'all to make the new album cover such a different aesthetic? Any artists or songs that made you guys go that direction?
You haven't seen the album cover yet. Obfuscation is the answer. Being unable to make out quite what's going on and filling in the blanks. Personally, didn't come up with the visuals. That was Elodie, but was so into it, 'cause it reminded me of those crappy photocopied exam sheets in school. And I love how everyone we've shown it to has seen a different vibe.
Can we get like a little sneak peek of the album's name, and if there will be a tour dedicated and themed to the album around the world? Not like with RRFC that was only in the USA and England.
Who's to say you haven't already had one?
How many songs will be on the album?
A whole bunch. Fucking some.
Favorite memory? Funny moment from studio?
I found an old ladder in a cupboard and used it to access a roof section of the studio. I demanded Lobster Thermidor be brought to me as, due to altitude, I was clearly the boss of the room. It soon became known as the Lobster Nest, and I miss it every day. I napped up there like half of the time I wasn't recording.
Is there a particular location associated with the album's theming at all? There seems to be a lot of religious imagery, but any specific areas of the world? Keep up making absolute bangers, lads. You're doing amazing.
New York in the Snow was huge for me, thematically. A lot of my lyrics were written in a psychiatric ward. The connection between spiritualism, capitalism, celebrity comes into play a lot too. Also, we are unfortunately living in hella interesting times. Even though this isn't a political album, and this isn't necessarily a location, a lot of the vibes and settings come from world events too.
What have been your favorite parts of making the album?
Dissecting my brain and pulling words out. Love that shit. Me.
Can you describe the next music video in one word?
Ow.
Is there gonna be physical media of the album upon release? Vinyl? CD?
Yes. As many as we can afford to do.
Will, when you guys are making songs, do you have to keep some things in mind for when you have to pre-from them live? Are there any restrictions?
Good question. Yes, we used to strictly keep that in mind. Never including more instruments than we were capable of playing as a 4+ trumpet. This time, though, we've allowed ourselves more freedom. One song you will hear very soon includes 3 guitars. Unless Joe grows 2 arms, we will need another guitarist to play that one live.
What's up, Will? Here's my album question. How many times did you mention the word apathy? I'm trying to make a list of how many times the word pops up.
Sounds like you're asking me to do your job for you.
Any lyrics you think we will misunderstand the most? In a good or weird way.
Oh my God. Like bloody most of them. LMAO.
How has the process of making an album differed from making an EP?
An EP to me has always been a collection of songs with less onus on connection. An album to me is about a place or time. Originally, we wanted to make a concept album, but last year it became a bit more abstract. I've always loved the idea of a concept album, and was very dead set on creating a fictional story throughout the debut. I've always loved the idea of extending a very short event into a full hour-long record. But that didn't feel right for this. I found myself drawn to themes rather than a specific story. And although the album is set in a world that makes sense to me, it will probably mean something completely different to you. There is a substantial literary motif throughout, and it means a lot to me personally. Maybe it is something I will discuss further in the future. Either way, we are living in interesting times, and a lot of that has come out very bluntly.
Did you revisit any old songs that didn't make it onto the Wake Up and It's Over EP while working on the new album?
We did, but none of them in their entirety were repurposed into this body of work. A lot of sections were implanted, though, and a couple of very, very old instrumental elements were reincorporated in new and exciting ways.
Do you now feel prepared to release the album? Mentally, I mean, I know it's been a long time coming. I'm sure ITT has some effect on the team.
Fuck no LOL. I don't think I could ever be prepared. I want to work on it forever. But at some point, you gotta let it go.
How does Rob look like? Do you guys have a specific image of how he looks like?
Like this, but damp.
Can you describe the album in 3 words?
Yes, I can.
Did you or will you ever let Ash play the lead sounds? Bass go bow, bow.
Ash's bass does so much lead stuff in this record, and I genuinely think he has written some of my favorite bass lines I've ever heard in this record. I kept asking for his bass to be cranked up to 100, and had to be calmly reminded by our producer that that isn't always the best idea.
Hi, Will. Any stage confidence tips? I want to perform, but freaks me TF out. Think about even playing and singing in front of family. Thanks.
Just be comfortable that you will suck at first. We ran tens of shows to empty rooms, and then 3 under pseudonyms before we even dreamt of selling our own tickets. It's so boring to say, but practice. You'll be fine. It's all in your head. No one is born bad at dancing around and looking like they're having fun, even if you are shit scared and pretending to have fun, which I certainly was at first.
Apologies if this question is a bit vague, but do any songs from the album take large parts of your older work and reuse them? Not necessarily entire songs, but the likes of riffs, which have been sat on for a few years, only now being worked into a full song. Stuff like that. I always think it's cool when small jams or snippets from songs end up seeing the light of day years after being materialized. So, I'm interested as to whether or not there will be any of that on this upcoming release.
I wish I could answer, but I genuinely don't remember. Haha, however, I keep finding myself drawn back to my little 3-note patterns on synth I used to do when I was writing my early comedy stuff. I feel there are occasions where those crop up, and I hope you notice them when they do.
Is there a word you happen to like more than apathy?
Plush.
What's up with the shrimp?
Posture check.
Why album Por qué no?
Edit. Okay, done now. Have to run. Stay shrimp.